Welcome back, Chicago. You're listening to the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. We've been on the air for 6.5 years, and you can download all of those shows at shalomklein.com. And be sure to follow me on Twitter at shalomklein. And I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Dan Zawacki, who founded a company in 1987 called Lobstergram out of his garage in Chicago. A first person to ship live lobsters and seafood, and built a market, but now doing some more stuff by building 4 more. So we're going to talk all about that. Dan, welcome to Get Down to Business.
Well, my gosh, thank you for having me on your show. It's really excited to tell everybody about my entrepreneurial story.
You've had quite a journey indeed, Dan, and this is long overdue. So my first question is, you founded Lobstergram, but do you actually enjoy eating lobster?
Yeah, so 1987 I started, and I still love lobster.
Well, that's a good sign.
My biggest mistake is when I sold the company 3 years ago, I didn't put in there some deal, part of the structure that I could get free lobsters for the year or something like that. So,
oh man, you gave up that opportunity. Well, Dan, let's get into your journey over here, because you have been featured in Forbes, Fortune, Oprah, Wall Street Journal, USA Today, Chicago Tribune, Rachel Ray Time, ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, and so many others for your story. And Get Down to Business doesn't want to be left out of that story. So, Dan, how did that Lobstergram journey get started in your garage? And you sort of tell us about those early days, briefly, and how it led to today and the sale and ultimately what you're doing now.
So it's a crazy story. I mean, it is a crazy story. So I was actually living in Peoria, Illinois, and I was working for Honeywell. And I went to Macomb, Western Illinois University, and I worked for like 4 years at Honeywell. Great job. And I would take my clients out for dinners. Okay, that's what I did for the holidays. And everybody liked it. And, of course, everybody wanted, lobster dinners. And I had the expense report, so who cares, right? And it got to the point where literally I was starting to get so many clients, I could not take everybody just out for dinner for the holidays. So I'm like going, holy cow, what the heck am I going to do? And I was one of those kids where I just always loved lobster. And of course, when you're a kid, you'd go and my dad and mom, would say, hey, what do you want? And I'd say, I'll take the lobster. And they'd go, oh yeah, give him a cheeseburger. And so it was like, I just always loved lobster. And I just thought, wow, what a cool thing it would be is to give my clients gifts of lobster. And, then I loved always going out to dinner with everybody, but I just had so many clients I couldn't do it. So I tried to find somebody in Maine that would do it. And I called 20-some different lobster dealers in Maine and Massachusetts. And I said, look, I got like 60 packages. I want 2 lobsters, some lemon, some butter, some shell crackers, and then the cooking pot, and, to send it out to my clients. And every single one said, that's stupid. That's a stupid idea. And so I almost decided not to do it. But eventually I bought like 160 lobsters, and my territory was in Peoria to Champaign, all mid-state of Illinois. And I literally took all these live lobsters in Christmas time in December, and I put a big tarp in the trunk of my company car. Thank God it was a company car. And I had all these live lobsters just crawling around, and I just go visit my clients, and I put literally 2 lobsters. It was the worst packaging ever. 2 lobsters in a plastic bag with a stick of butter, a lemon, and a little gift card. And I just would go right to their office and just say, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, thanks for your business. And I'd hand them this bag, and they just go, Oh my God. They loved it.
Dan, I have to ask it. At what point did your boss discover? I know you mentioned that you were in sales for Honeywell. What
Yeah.
point did your boss discover your little side hustle over there?
Yeah. Well, gosh, back in the day, you weren't supposed to do side hustles, right? Not like now. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I'm an entrepreneur. I got this company, I'm trying to, build it. And, of course I had like maybe one sale a day. And that was like huge, right? If I had two sales a day, I would like, crack some champagne open. And so, my sister said, why don't you get on the radio and call Jonathan Brandmeier, Johnny B, the guy, the legend, morning zoo guy, and see, if you can get on the show. So I basically just out of pure, I didn't know what else to do. I just called him up. I talked to his producer, Jimmy Budd, and he's like, wait a second, you sell live lobsters through the mail in Peoria, Illinois? And I go, oh yeah, that's what I do. And he starts cracking up and he goes, okay, so then I can hear him go, hey, Johnny, get on the phone here. You got to talk to this lobster guy. So talk to him. He says, hey, can you come up on Friday? This is like earlier in the week. And I'm like, oh, sure. So I literally, in my, my little checkout board for sales calls, I said I was going to make sales.
Patented temperature regulating cover. Comes with a 10-year warranty that's washable and dryable. It's made in the USA and backed by MyPillow's 60-day money-back guarantee. Get the total body support you need and better sleep you want. Right now, save 30% on MyPillow mattress toppers when you use the promo code STEVE or call 800-489-0201. When you do, you'll get 2 standard MyPillows for free. Again, the promo code is STEVE. Call 800-489-0201. Promo code STEVE.
AM 560, The Answer.
I'm back with the Lobster Man, Dan Zawacki. Dan has been sharing the story of the growth of Lobstergram. But Dan, you started that company back in 1987, and then you actually, after about 30 years, sold that company so you could focus on teaching the Entrepreneur Operating System, or EOS for short. Dan, obviously I've got a lot of questions, including what lessons did you learn from your experience at, Lobstergram, that are applicable to many of the entrepreneurs that might be tuning in this evening?
Wow. Well, that's a great question. And I learned so much. One of the things of Entrepreneur Operating System is I am blessed that I spent 30 years in the trenches. So when I actually talk to my clients, I've just, I've been there, seen it. And then probably some of the biggest things that I really learned for entrepreneurs is, one's real simple. Is it a hobby or is it a business, right? And a lot of people get the two confused. So decide. If it's a business, then make it a business. Have a plan. Have a, short 2 pages. Get right to the point with your own words. Don't go through like a software program where you, copy and paste everything from Google.
Absolutely.
And I think one of the other things I have, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's interesting that you took some of those lessons and really helped many entrepreneurs. You help all the time, helping companies sort of delineate their message. But your company now, you now call yourself the Four Moors Man, which is funny because you went from that identity of the lobster man to the Four Moors Man. So Dan, in our remaining minutes, I want to make sure that we cover what those four areas actually are. The Four Moors. What does that stand for?
All right. So what I found, it really comes down to a few things. Is first, structure, right? A lot of people think they have to have the vision. No, you gotta build the structure. So more structure is going to lead to more growth, which is going to lead to more profit, which ultimately is going to be more fun. Because if you can't have fun running your business, then for God's sakes, get a real job or do something else, right? So I use Entrepreneur Operating System to help clients get what they want from their business and literally live a better life. And I love it. I am so lucky that I found my second passion in life. It's pretty crazy.
Well, as you say, you're helping your clients find more fun. You know what it's like because you've gone through your own experience of building a fun business, which is important. And so what I'd love to hear is, give us an example of somebody that you've worked with and somebody that you've really helped them to discover their vision, their mission, and turn it into a successful business, but also to have fun in the process.
Wow. So for most of my clients, they're in the 10 to 250 range. But last December, I took on a client that was a startup. And it was really cool because, for most companies or, for people like what I do, when they hear the word startup for somebody, they're just like, oh gosh, no, they don't have any of this structure. They're undercapitalized, blah, blah, blah. But I'm a helper, right? I feel very lucky after selling my company. I could do whatever I wanted to, and this is what I wanted to do. So I took them on as clients, and we went through, the basics of the program, and today they have 28 employees, not even a year later, and they just followed the EOS process. And they are working their little butts off, but at the same time, when we're together in our sessions, we are always having fun, but we get stuff done.
And the fun is part of the process. It's part of that 4 Moors process. I'm chatting with Dan Zawacki, originally the Lobster Man, the founder of Lobstergram, but now the 4 Moors Man. Dan, I want to make sure our listeners know where they can reach you. There's so much about you and your story of founding Lobstergram. Fun fact is that you were the first company using Google AdWords, which is just incredible, which is crazy. So you certainly have learned a lot of lessons in entrepreneurship that I know are applicable and relevant to all of our listeners on Get Down to Business. Dan, where can people find out more about you and find out more about the 4 Moors?
So my website is 4moors.com, and that's the number 4, MORES.com, and they can email me at dan@4moors.com, and there is my phone number too. And I am more than, if any of your listeners out there have any questions or something that they're struggling with, I am more than happy to help anyone out, because I swear I feel so blessed of what I've been able to accomplish and the knowledge that I have. So I don't say that, I really mean it. So
I know you do, because George, my producer over here, and I were talking. Your name is heard all over the place, and certainly people have learned from your story, founding Lobstergram. And Dan Zawacki, 4moors.com, Dan@4moors.com, and the guy still loves lobster even after these 30 years. Dan Zawacki, thank you so much for joining me on Get Down to Business. I'm going to be joined by Dr. Jim White. More small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship on Get Down to Business right after this quick break.
Getting from point A to